Hi, hello everyone. I am Kagome Naya, and today we have Onon to talk about 3D printing technology.
Hello everyone, I'm Onon. Thank you for inviting me, Kagome.
Yeah. So let's start. Could you tell me what is the 3D printing technology is?
So, um, we all know about 2D printing technology, which prints on paper in a in two dimension. But 3D printer is it's a 3D object. We can print real objects using this machine, and which prints by layer by layer. So they print 2D and 2D again and 2D another layer. So finally they can make a 3D object. So another thing is it's usually called additive manufacturing because it's adding layer by layer. But the conventional manufacturing is they have big chunk of material, and from that they subtract from the material, like making a hole or something. So it's the difference. It's not subtracting, but it's adding.
But it's gonna be less useless things. So it doesn't make any useless.
Yes, you mean about waste?
Uh,
Yeah, so it doesn't waste any material.
That's one of the advantages of the
Yeah,
technology.
because in a subtractive manufacturing technology, from the big material, they um, they cut it into to make it into some shape. So they are wasting material. But in a 3D printing technology, in other words, additive manufacturing, they do not waste material.
That's good. So, do you know any other advantages of the 3D printing technology?
Yeah, I can name two other advantages. The first one is rapid manufacturing and prototyping. So if we have a 3D model and if we input that 3D model to the 3D printer, which can print it very quickly. But traditionally, traditionally for prototyping or for manufacturing, it takes a lot of time to finish the prototyping and to receive the first prototype. But with the help of 3D printer, we can do it really quickly. So it's also time efficient. And the another good thing about 3D printer is if you can design your if you can design 3D model, you can print it by yourself. So you can print your own original design.
Right. So, it's the advantage is gonna be your original design, and also it's gonna be faster than other things,
Yes.
and also it's less waste.
Yeah.
Good. So, have you ever used or have you ever seen the 3D printer?
Ah. So I never used a 3D printer, but I had a chance to see 3D printer and 3D printed objects last year. So last year, my lab members visited Yamagata University, and they showed us some 3D printed objects and their 3D printers.
Yes. So what do they provide it, or what did they make by 3D printing?
So they used 3D printer for research purpose. It was a laboratory of biology and human anatomy. So they use a 3D printer to print the model, to print the human organ, for example, liver and heart or any other organ of human body. Use a 3D printer. And the interesting thing was the organ was colorless. So, but the shape is the same as the real human organ, and the artery and vein they are printed by red and blue color respectively. So we can see they have the blood circulated through that organ.
Yes. So why do they make these organs see through, and how do the 3D printed things used for?
Are you asking about the purpose? Why
Yeah.
are they printing the human organ? It's for the research purpose and also for demonstration purpose,
So
I think.
so we can learn about the blood pressure or something like that through by holding those organs or by seeing those
Yes.
kind of real ones.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, yes. So it's educational thing. So how about in the company? Do you know any company using those technologies or currently?
Oh yeah, so I did some research on Google, and they gave me the company name. It's Shapeways, which is located in New York City, in the United States. So they offer service 3D printing service, and also they can help you design your 3D model. So yes, so if you have your own 3D model, they can help you print it and make it like a real object. But if you don't know how to do even model the 3D model, so they can help you to design it. So it's like a complete service they provide.
So what kind of product or what kind of thing can we model?
It can be anything.
Okay.
You can model, you can make your own model about anything. But the materials are restricted.
Okay.
So we can print usually plastics and polymers and some metal and sandstone, and interestingly some edibles such as chocolate can be printed.
So for the gift or something like that, you can make your gift with chocolate or eatable things, right?
Yes. So usually the materials are fused in a powder or liquid form, and it's inputted to the machine. So which mixes the liquid and powder and then printed.
If maybe children will be very interested in those things, the eatable things.
Yes, I think so.
So for the metal things, what can we make? Do you have any example for?
Yes, so for the Shapeways company, in their official website, there are some products printed by metal, such as usually accessories and small souvenirs. So they can, if you have your own model, they can print the earrings or necklace or bracelet, etc., and also some small souvenirs and miniatures like mini Eiffel Tower or mini Tsurugacho Castle or anything.
Good. So do we need any expert? Uh, do we need any knowledge to model the accessories or the souvenirs? Is it easy to model them?
So there are two ways to make a model. So one way is using CAD technology, computer-aided design, using some software to design it. And the another one is 3D scanner. So from real object, for example, from this chair, if we use the 3D scanner, the 3D scanner will provide the 3D model of this chair.
So you can copy it by using 3D scanner.
Yeah, from real object to the 3D model.
Okay. Good. So how about, so that's the US company, right?
Yeah, that is US company.
Okay, so how about in Japan? Do you know any company using 3D print technology?
Yeah, so yes. So about the 3D printing service, some companies such as Urushi use it. Urushi means, by the way, printing technique, lacquerware technique in Japanese. Yeah, painting technique. So the company name is also Urushi, and they use a 3D printer to make a traditional lacquerware art. And yeah, that is one interesting example. And the another company is they make 3D printer. So the company name is Eldivo, and they nowadays currently they have 4 models, and it costs $3,000 to $8,000. Of course, the cheap one is um, like usually works okay, but the expensive one is for industrial purpose.
Yes. So, how about do we have a lot of companies using those technologies, or do we have uh, the biggest company who can fight with the U.S. company using those technologies?
So I think we need to talk a little bit about the market, 3D market. So in the statistic of 2014, they said that the 75% of 3D printer comes from US companies.
Wow.
And the second big player is Germany. And the Japan, the total share of Japan was 0.3%.
Very low.
Yeah, very low. Yeah. But it's 4 years ago, so maybe the number is increasing.
So, but I think it's still very small number to in the market share.
Yeah.
So, do you have any idea to improve those technology in Japan?
Yeah, so my opinion is they should start in the research background, in the academic level.
Right.
So the university should offer 3D related courses, and they need to attract students' attention to these 3D printers. So, for example, in our university, in the University of Aizu, they have 3D printers, and also some professors do research about printing 3D kanjis, characters.
Have you ever touched it, or do you?
Not yet.
Oh.
Have you?
Yes, it's very interesting because it like copper. It says so the shape of the thing is like kanji. So it says do, which means the copper, and the thing is made from copper, and also the weight of it is also the weight of the copper. So you can learn how heavy it is, or what the color of it, or what the texture of the thing by touching it or by looking at it, and also you can learn the kanji of the thing. So it's very good for children to know.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it's really interesting way to learn kanji for foreigners.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe you should try it.
Yeah, I'd like to.
So lastly, I'd like to ask you one last question. So, do you think that 3D printer will make your life better in the future? By using 3D printer, your life can be better than now?
Yes, I think yes, because I think the future 3D printer will totally change the manufacturers, because now we buy our common necessities from big companies. For example, we buy from big companies, but in future, maybe with the help of 3D printer, we can print it ourselves.
Right. Like the shoe or the accessories.
Yeah, we can design our accessories, so we don't need to buy it from another company.
Okay, so do you want to use it for yourself?
Of course, because it can be unique. It can be only one. But for big company products, they are repeated. For example, we all have one Nike or Adidas shoes, but if we design it ourselves,